You must have laser focus. In this episode, I'm going to address what financial vehicle has the best liquidity, safety, rate of return, and is tax-free. Get ready. It's probably not what you think. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist for north of 48 years. I've been helping thousands of people optimize their assets, minimize taxes, prepare for a comfortable retirement where they will not outlive their money. And unfortunately, many retirees do outlive their money because they've been following the herd, so to speak, putting money in tax-deferred IRAs and 401ks invested in the market. Because they just were told to do that, and they were told, oh, you'll likely be in a lower tax bracket. If you're a saver, I can almost assure you, you will not be in a lower tax bracket when you retire. So I've helped cure a lot of people's dis-ease, because when you're not at ease physically, we call that dis-ease. A lot of people are not at ease financially when they retire, because they realize there's three big dangers that are going to cause them to outlive their money: taxes, inflation, and market volatility. So I've been helping people for decades eliminate those three dangers so they will not outlive their money. We have to reposition their assets into vehicles that will eliminate those dangers. And so it's called the LASERFUND. When I say it's called, that's my favorite vehicle. LASER is an acronym that stands for liquid assets, safely earning returns. So at the beginning of this episode, I talk about laser focus. We want to focus on the best repositories, the places where we can have our money, our serious cash that we don't want to jeopardize losing, with laser focus, so that it passes the liquidity test, the safety test, the rate of return test, and it has tax benefits. This is why my favorite vehicle is called the LASERFUND. And what is it? It is a max-funded indexed insurance contract structured correctly and funded properly. Now, sadly, in America, I would say over 99% of IUL policies out there are not structured correctly and funded properly to do what I'm going to show you to be able to perform as a laser fund. In other words, if you were to average 11%, you might only net 6 or 7%. I want to net within 1 percentage point of the gross rate of return at the end of the day on my account. And too many insurance agents, they just don't know what they don't know. And so this is why I'm very passionate about educating agents so that they'll structure it correctly and fund it properly, because it's one of the best financial instruments out there when you understand how to fund it correctly and structure it from the word go. So this is what motivated me to write the book, The LASERFUND. It's my 11th book. It's been flying off of our warehouse shelves, and we send out several hundred of these a week. I'll show you how you can claim your free copy at the end of this episode. So as you watch this episode, if anything resonates with you, be sure and click like, post a comment, share with somebody else who would benefit from this. Most importantly, subscribe. It's free. And click the little bell, because you'll be notified every time I post a new episode, which I do almost on a daily basis. But stay with me to the end. I'm going to gift you a copy of my most recent 300-page best-selling book, The LASERFUND. So in the various episodes, people always say, well, show me some actual statements. And we have thousands of them. And so we can show where you diversify by linking to different indices, and how simple it is to get one statement from one laser fund at the end of the year, and 20% of your money. In this case, the client allocated $76,000 in 5 different areas, 20% in each. And at the end of the year, on this 20% of his money, $76,000, he got credited 13.65%. This one 11%, this one 9.5%, this one 15%, this one 4.4%. He just left 20% in the general account portfolio. The average was over 10%. And so this is an actual statement, and these are very typical. You don't have to read the Wall Street Journal every day, when to buy, when to sell. This is so simple. You can do what you love doing and not worry about your money. Sometimes you'll get a simplified statement like this. It'll just say your average return this year was 7.14. That's tax-free, 7.84. Here's one where it's diversified into three. Not a lot of money. You don't have to have a ton of money. There's only $13,000. 6.22, 9.39, and 10%, an average of 8.5. Okay. And then you have other times where people diversified, like March of 2020 to March of 2021, when we told many clients, link some or all of your money to a 1 year point to point with no cap, because the market dropped 30% due to COVID-19 in March of 2020. We knew the chance that the market would be up dramatically was very high, and it did. It went up 66.33%. We usually don't tell people to do that because they subtract 5% off of the gain. So in a normal period, if you made 12, you'd only net 7. Well, the market went up 66.33 minus 5 percentage points. They got credited 61.33%. So they chose to put 20,000 of their money here and got credited the 9% and 7.25%. But on this portion, they had 84,000 and they linked that one to the 1 year point to point with no cap, and they got credited 61.33% or 50 grand. And so the total that year, it grew to 135,000. Now, in hindsight, they wish they would have put in the other, 40,000 into that, but you don't know. But the fact of the matter is they locked in that gain. If the next year the market would have, crashed 40%, they would not have lost one dime of that money they made the year before. They may not have made very much, but they didn't lose. The actual next year was about a 20% return overall. Now, here's another one that shows 6,000, 6,000, 6,000 diversified, and they got 9, 12, and 7.25. And then they had 18,000, so that represents really the other half of their money, was linked to that one, 61.33. Here is the one I love to show. This is a client of my son's who started out with 852,000 in March of 2020 without adding a dime, got credited over $535,000, ended up with $1,387,000 1 year later, March of 2021. The next year, he made another 20% on top of that. But if the market would have crashed 40%, he would not have lost one dime of the $500,000 he made in 2020 to 2021. That's called lock-in and reset. So when you start looking at these actual statements and you see you can diversify and get credited 14.89, 16.5, 10.25, 15, 13, very common rates of return for many of our clients on their IUL policies. So when you look at all of this, in the book, I talk about, so let's look at other investment alternatives and see how they score on this laser test on a scale of 1 to 10. And most investments only score maybe 18, 20, 22, whereas a max-funded indexed universal life policy will score 33, 35 out of a possible 40. I don't know any place where you put money that scores a perfect score, but if I cut to the chase, in the book, we're talking about chapter 8. And on page 165 of this book I'm going to gift you here at the end, you go to this, and this is comparing various alternatives, and you'll begin to see how various investments ranked here on liquidity, safety, rate of return, and tax benefits. And in another episode, I'm going to show you actually how they perform. But right off the bat, we put down the key elements of a prudent investment: liquidity, safety, predictable rates of return, and tax benefits. Now, there's additional features that we want. And so this goes through and it compares IRAs and 401ks in the market, mutual funds, your house, CDs and bank savings, annuities, real estate versus the LASERFUND. And the LASERFUND comes through with flying colors, and you'll see why, as it has the highest score ever. So what you want is to have your serious cash pass the liquidity, safety, rate of return test, and tax advantage test with flying colors. When you do that, then you will have laser focus on your money. And that's what you want, especially at retirement. Not just for retirement, but a lot of people don't wake up until retirement and they realize, I'm going to outlive my money due to rising taxes, inflation, market volatility. So we have to protect them from that, and that's by having laser focus. So I would recommend you watch also another episode, which is really what I talk about in Chapter 9, and that's comparing to various alternatives, and you'll see how the laser fund fares to all other types of possible investments in other areas, not only liquidity, safety, rate of return, and tax benefits. But here's how you can claim your free copy of this book. You simply go to laserfund.com, LASERFund.com, or click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. You've got to have some skin in the game, and I will pay for the book. I'll fire out a copy to you, the hard copy. There's options in there to listen and learn, and watch and learn if you want. There's also some various sites where you can join educational webinars, online learning. And also, if you want to talk to an IUL specialist to see how this may apply in your particular set of circumstances, they'll do that for you, and they will not invoice you or bill you for their time, because this is about you and your brighter future. I do not want you to miss out. I want you to have laser focus with your serious cash.